Your friend is your needs answered. All that spirits desire, spirits attain. Knowledge cultivates your seeds, and does not sow in your seeds. The obvious is that which is never seen until someone expresses it simply. Exaggeration is truth that has lost its temper. Love. It surrounds every being, and extends slowly to embrace all that shall be. Rebellion without truth is like spring in a bleak, arid desert. The just is close to the people's heart, but the merciful is close to the heart of God. Most people who ask for advice from others have already resolved to act as it pleases them. Zeal is a volcano, the peak of which the grass of indecisiveness does not grow. Love possesses not, nor will it be possessed, for love is sufficient unto love. Coming generations will learn equality from poverty, and love from woes. Love and doubt have never been on speaking terms. Doubt is a pain too lonely to know that faith is his twin brother. Your pain is the breaking of the shell that encloses your understanding. For life and death are one, even as the river and the sea are one. Beauty is eternity, gazing at itself in a mirror. Life without liberty is like a body without spirit. Love is trembling happiness. Perplexity is the beginning of knowledge. There are those who give with joy, and that joy is their reward. If your heart is a volcano, how shall you expect flowers to bloom? Sadness is but a wall between two gardens. Life without love is like a tree without blossoms or fruit. You are the bows from which your children, as living arrows, are sent forth. Out of suffering have emerged the strongest souls. The most massive characters are seared with scars. Forget not that the earth delights to feel your bare feet, and the winds long to play with your hair. Yesterday is but today's memory, and tomorrow is today's dream. The teacher who is indeed wise does not bid you to enter the house of his wisdom, but rather leads you to the threshold of your mind. We choose our joys and sorrows long before we experience them. Generosity is giving more than you can, and pride is taking less than you need. Ever has it been that love knows not its own depth until the hour of separation. And forget not that the earth delights to feel your bare feet, and the winds long to play with your hair. To understand the heart and mind of a person, look not at what he has already achieved, but at what he aspires to. Safeguarding the rights of others is the most noble and beautiful end of a human being. To be able to look back upon one's life in satisfaction is to live twice. Faith is a knowledge within the heart, beyond the reach of proof. The lust for comfort, that stealthy thing that enters the house a guest, and then becomes a host, and then a master. A little knowledge that acts is worth infinitely more than much knowledge that is idle. Let there be no purpose in friendship, save the deepening of the spirit. Trust in dreams, for in them is hidden the gate to eternity. If you love somebody, let them go, for if they return, they were always yours. And if they don't, they never were. And ever has it been known that love knows not its own depth, until the hour of separation. Friendship is always a sweet responsibility, never an opportunity. Progress lies not in enhancing what is, but in advancing toward what will be. March on. Do not tarry. To go forward is to move toward perfection. March on, and fear not the thorns, or the sharp stones on life's path. If you reveal your secrets to the wind, you should not blame the wind for revealing them to the trees. Faith is an oasis in the heart, which will never be reached by the caravan of thinking. Poetry is a deal of joy and pain and wonder, with a dash of the dictionary. Truth is a deep kindness that teaches us to be content in our everyday life, and share with the people the same happiness. Wisdom ceases to be wisdom when it becomes too proud to weep, too grave to laugh, and too selfish to seek other than itself. If in the twilight of memory we should meet once more, we shall speak again together, and you shall sing to me a deeper song. All our words are but crumbs that fall down from the feast of the mind. The eye of a human being is a microscope, which makes the world seem bigger than it really is. Art is a step from what is obvious and well known toward what is arcane and concealed. Your daily life is your temple, and your religion. When you enter into it, take with you your all. When we turn to one another for counsel, we reduce the number of our enemies. Love one another, but make not a bond of love, let it rather be a moving sea between the shores of your souls. You have your ideology, and I have mine. If my survival caused another to perish, then death would be sweeter and more beloved. They consider me to have sharp and penetrating vision, because I see them through the mesh of a sieve. If the other person injures you, you may forget the injury. But if you injure him, you will always remember. Pain and foolishness lead to great bliss and complete knowledge, for eternal wisdom created nothing under the sun in vain. What difference is there between us, save a restless dream that follows my soul but fears to come near you? No man can reveal to you nothing but that which already lies half asleep in the dawning of your knowledge. Much of your pain is the bitter potion by which the physician within you heals your sick self. You give but little when you give of your possessions. It is when you give of yourself that you truly give. If you cannot work with love, but only with distaste, it is better that you should leave your work. Time has been transformed, and we have changed. It has advanced and set us in motion. It has unveiled its face, inspiring us with bewilderment and exhilaration. Many a doctrine is like a window pane. We see truth through it, but it divides us from truth. The most pitiful among men is he who turns his dreams into silver and gold. Poverty is a veil that obscures the face of greatness. An appeal is a mask covering the face of tribulation. Wisdom stands at the turn in the road and calls upon us publicly, but we consider it false and despise its adherents. Death most resembles a prophet who is without honor in his own land, or a poet who is a stranger among his people. Hallow the body as a temple to comeliness, and sanctify the heart as a sacrifice to love. Love recompenses the adorers. Your living is determined not so much by what life brings to you as by the attitude you bring to life. Not so much by what happens to you, as by the way your mind looks at what happens. But let there be spaces in your togetherness, and let the winds of the heavens dance between you. Love one another, but make not a bond of love, let it rather be a moving sea between the shores of your souls. Your children are not your children. They are the sons and daughters of life's longing for itself. They came through you, but not from you, and though they are with you, yet they belong not to you. Work is love made visible. And if you cannot work with love, but only with distaste, it is better that you should leave your work, and sit at the gate of the temple, and take alms of those who work with joy. Yesterday we obeyed kings, and bent our necks before emperors. But today we kneel only to truth, follow only beauty, and obey only love. A friend who is far away is sometimes much nearer than one who is at hand. Is not the mountain far more awe-inspiring, and more clearly visible to one passing through the valley, than to those who inhabit the mountain? When love beckons to you, follow him, though his ways are hard and steep. And when his wings enfold you, yield to him, though the sword hidden among his pinions may wound you. In the sweetness of friendship, let there be laughter, and sharing of pleasures. For in the dew of little things, the heart finds its morning and is refreshed. Keep me away from the wisdom which does not cry, the philosophy which does not laugh, and the greatness which does not bow before children. When you are sorrowful, look again in your heart, and you shall see that, in truth, you are weeping for that which has been your delight. Advance, and never halt, for advancing is perfection. Advance, and do not fear the thorns in the path, for they draw only corrupt blood. Where is the justice of political power, if it executes the murderer and jails the plunderer, and then itself marches upon neighboring lands, killing thousands and pillaging the very hills? You pray in your distress and in your need. Would that you might also pray in the fullness of your joy, and in your days of abundance. If the grandfather of Jesus had known what was hidden within him, he would have stood humble and awestruck before his soul. The person you consider ignorant and insignificant is the one who came from God, that he might learn bliss from grief, and knowledge from gloom. Nor shall derision prove powerful against those who listen to humanity, or those who follow in the footsteps of divinity, for they shall live forever. Forever. When you work, you are a flute through whose Heart, the whispering of the hours turns to music. Which of you would be a reed, dumb and silent, when all else sings together in unison? Knowledge of the self is the mother of all knowledge. So it is incumbent on me to know myself, to know it completely, to know its minutiae, its characteristics, its subtleties, and its very atoms.